So this is a Bailey Unicorn Vigo. Just going to take you around the van and show you how it operates. So we're going to start on the inside, then go to the outside. So when I say about filling the water system up, I will demonstrate how to connect it once we go outside, or where it all connects to. First thing you've got as you come in the door on the right hand side, you've got your main control panel for the caravan. So you've got your master power on the left hand side here. You've got your water pump run, which I'll come back to in a second. You've got your interior lights and your awning lights on the control panel just here. You have got the rest of your light switches just to the left hand side. And as you go around the van, all the lights will individually be switched. So as you can see, and then all the lighting's on around the van in various locations. Once you've got the power onto the caravan and you've got the water connected to the outside, like I said, I will come back to that in a moment, so don't worry, I'm not missing it. I will come back to it. Underneath the seat on the front right hand side of the caravan, you'll find your Aldi hot water tank. And down the back of this tank, you will find a yellow valve. So just below that black pipe there, you can see the yellow drain down valve. Now, if you've caravan before, you will have seen one of these previously. So when the valve is flat with the floor, as it is at the moment, it will allow you to fill the water system up. So that's the position it needs to be in, as it is at the moment, to fill the hot water system up on board the caravan. And if it's upright and pointing towards the bottom of the seat, it will mean you can drain the water system down. Now, to drain the water system down, you need that valve upright, so it's pointing towards the bottom of the seat. And we would advise over the winter that you open all taps up in the central position between the hot and the cold, and open them fully. And also remove the shower head and drop the shower head. Remove the shower head and drop the pipe work down to the ground, so it allows any water to shake out of the system. So with your water pump connected on the outside, and with all your taps open in the hot position, you can see we've already got water in here. I wasn't expecting that. This is your water pump essentially, which you'll connect into the side of the caravan. Then you've got your pickup pipe that drops down into the bottom of the ack roll. Like I said, I'll show you where that goes in a moment. We'll open all the taps up on the hot side of the water system. As you can see, the system's already full at the moment. It will be drained down when it arrives to you. Open all the taps up on the hot side of the system, and then come over to the water pump, turn the water pump on, and then when the water system is completely full and the pump's connected on the outside of the van, you will have water running out continuously out of every tap on board the caravan. You will obviously need to do the shower as well while you're bleeding the water system. Once that water system is completely full, you can shut all of the taps back off, and then you're ready to warm the water on board the caravan and also use your heating. Now, you don't have to have the water system full to use the heating. It is a question we get asked quite a lot with the Aldi heating systems. Don't worry, if it's not full, you can still turn your heating on. So on the control panel, just to the left of the sink, so you've got the sink here, and then up to the back of it here, on the left hand side, you get your control panel for your Aldi heating and hot water. Turn the control panel on. And once it's loaded, on the home screen here, you'll have to say the heating pump is running. You've got mains power connected to the caravan and the current internal temperature of the caravan. Hit the menu button and it will take you into the options for the heating and hot water. Now, at the top here, you've got your room temperature, minus or plus, very simple to use. I'm just going to turn that all the way down for now, we don't need it on today. So we turn that all the way down, and when it's at 5 degrees, the heating is essentially turned off. Below that, you've got your hot water. So when this bar's empty, the hot water will actually be turned off. However, if you've got the heating on and it's set to 30 degrees, for instance, it is going to warm the heating system up still, the water system up still. So the hot water heating's on, it will still warm the water due to the fact it's got a jacket that goes through the inside of it, a glycol jacket that's essentially the antifreeze system that will actually sit inside the water tank and then warm up the water on the outside. So to turn your water on, you're going to press the green arrow once and you've got hot water on. Hit it a second time and you've got hot water boost. Now below that, you have the amount of power coming into the caravan from the caravan site you're on. So for instance, you've got 1, 2 or 3 kilowatts. Now what you set this to does depend on the site you're on, like I said. And if you haven't got 3 kilowatts available and you set it to that, it could potentially trip the hot water system or the heating system. Below that, you've got the option for gas. So you've got the option for gas here. Hit the button once and it will go green. And if it ignites on gas, that button will stay green. If it fails to ignite on gas, it's actually going to come up with gas fail along the bottom of the screen here with 2 exclamation marks. You have got some advanced settings in here. We do advise for these that you read the manual that comes with the caravan, as if I tried to explain in the video, it probably take me 2 to 3 hours to complete. Cooker works like your household cooker, gas with the igniter on the front, and obviously you've got an electric ring on here as well. The microwave is actually an eco microwave, so when you actually come into the caravan, you'll actually see the screen will be dark if you're connected to mains power. All you need to do is hit the eco button here, and it will wake the microwave back up. So it's basically got a power saving mode built into it. Next up, we're going to go to the fridge. The fridge is very simple to use. So at the top of the fridge here, you've got your controls on the left hand side. So you've got power off when the control is pointing straight up towards this dot. You've got mains power when you're pointing towards the plug symbol here on the right hand side. And the plug symbol is basically there, is basically your 240 main supply. If you're on electric or gas, you can actually control the temperature of the fridge on this dial on the right hand side. And the thicker this line is and the further the control is round, means the colder the fridge will be. You've then got your 12 volt mode. So you've got 12 volt supply. Now that is not the 12 volt supply from the caravan, it is the 12 volt supply from the car you are towing with. And essentially it allows you to use the fridge as a cool box. And it will only work if you are connected to the car and you have the right connection on the back of your car. Gas, simply put the dial down to the bottom. You're going to press in the temperature control and hit the igniter at the same time. Once it ignites on gas, you're going to need to continue to hold the gas valve in. And the way you'll notice if it's ignited on gas is because this little red line here will actually come round it into the green. Like I said, you will need to continue to hold the gas valve in, probably for about 30 to 40 seconds, and then slowly release the valve, and just need to make sure this orange line stays in the green. If it stays in the green, the fridge is ignited and it is working on gas as it should. You have got a winter catch on the fridge. You can pop this out here, just here, bring the door around, and then it will lock into that little latch there, as you can see, which then means the fridge can be aired over the winter. And you just need to push that back in when you're using the fridge normally. Underneath the freezer, you have actually got these little catches which you can pop down, like so, and open up. And it actually allows you to remove this freezer box so you can have a bigger fridge area should you wish to. It does demonstrate on the front here, again, how that works. Underneath the bed, you've got your battery box, as you can see. There is a battery in there, just to make things simple when the van arrives with you. Underneath the bed, you can access it from the locker on the outside. You've actually got your motor mover power switch. I will actually demonstrate that in a moment so you can see it is all working. But you can access it through that locker there. And you've got motor mover bars there as well. And the power switch for the mover and the controller itself. Should have just pointed out at the front of the van, you've got your book pack and your tyre power pressure monitor. If you're wondering about the table and where that sits, that actually sits on these brackets just underneath the bed. So I'm just going to put the camera down for a second. Sorry about this. And then the table will actually sit on them brackets, as you can see there. I'm going to shut the bed down. The bed does slide out, obviously, to make the bed longer. And then the back part of the mattress there drops down into the gap at the back to make the mattress out a little bit longer. Radiator in the bathroom. Just remember that does hold a lot of heat, so if you've got little ones in the van, just be careful with hands, etc. around that. You've then got your toilet itself, which actually spins to different positions, as you can see. However, when you're removing the cassette from underneath the caravan or from the side of the caravan, it does need to be in this straight on position, as it is now. And then down the bottom, you've got your toilet waste flap, which you open up to allow the waste into the cassette underneath the van. And on the side of the van here, you've got your toilet flush, which, as you can see, is working as it should. Sinks have got the push down style sink plug in them, and then your shower in the bathroom, as you'd expect. Works the same as your household shower. Coming on to the outside of the van now, it's going to take you around the outside of the van. The guys are still cleaning it at the moment, so I might have to work around there. You've got your main power supply coming into the side of the caravan. You've got your main power supply coming inside the van. and you've got a 3-pin socket on the outside here. I'll come back to the locker in a moment just there, and I'll show you the motor mover. Motor mover and wheel nuts will be torqued before the caravan arrives. Storage locker for underneath the bed, each side of the van, or on the left hand side of the van. You wind down the legs as you'd expect to see on any caravan. Gas barbecue point at the front of the caravan. Do just make sure when you're travelling that they're locked back so they don't flap about. Hitch, jockey wheel and handbrake. Obviously you've got your hitch handle here, which when you drop into the car will lock down. You've got your stabiliser, which you need to push down and lock in place. Breakaway cable, which you'll need to put around the ball on the car or onto the hook point on the back of the car. Handbrake, which you'll need to have off when you're travelling. Then the jockey wheel, which obviously winds up and down with the handle on the side here. And you can raise or lower it as you need to on this handle on the side. Water pump connection, pushes into the side of the van and connects in place. Lock that down when you're travelling. All the heating and hot water flue, as you'd expect to see for a heating and hot water system. You've then got your gas locker itself for the gas bottles. Then coming towards the back of the van, you've got your toilet flush tank, so you put 3.5 litres of water in here and a cap full of the pink fluid. Then the bottom, you've got your toilet waste cassette, which you release by pulling up the orange handle and pulling the cassette towards you. Orange neck here turns out so you can tip the waste away. On the back of the cassette you've got an orange pressure relief button, so when you're tipping the waste away it doesn't spit and splash back at you. On the back of the van, you've got your 2 wind down legs again to stabilise the caravan while it's on site. So to engage the motor mover against the wheel, you've got your motor mover engagement bar. You're going to pull it over and lock it in place. Now you should only need to do this on one side of the van, but you always check both sides to make sure they're fully engaged against the wheel. And you can do it from either side of the caravan, so you'll pull it over and lock it in place. Underneath the bed at the rear of the caravan, you'll notice you've got your power switch like I showed you from the inside of the van, and the power key will push in and you'll turn the key 90 degrees to get the power to come on to the motor mover. You can press then the 2 green buttons on the controller and it will go solid green when it is ready to be used on one side, as you can see it has now. And you'll simply have backwards, forwards, turn, 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 and turn, and then reverse. To turn the controller off, you'll press the 2 green buttons again, and it will turn the power off to the controller. You'll then turn the power off in the side locker, and then you'll disengage the motor mover bar, as you can see here. Pull it over and disengage it from the wheel. So that is the Bailey Uniform Vigo. If you have any further questions on the caravan, please don't hesitate to give us a call here at the Caravan Company, and we'll be more than happy to help. We appreciate your business and we look forward to seeing you.